the wee guru here, Myth Crystal. You might notice the shaved the goatee there, looking a little young, which I like. I was in 48, right? So I want to look younger than 48. Anyways, great. You're going to the gym, you're working out, fantastic. You start thinking about your health, particularly your cardiovascular health, right? So the most important muscle to work out is your heart, right? So do some cardio, and it's 210 minus your age, and then whatever that number is, and put it in the calculator, like that number, then times point 0.6. Write down that number, then put in the first number, your 210 minus your age again, whatever that number is, times 0.9, and then you want to keep your heart rate in between that range, the low number and the high number. Like I'm 48, right? So it'd be 210 minus 48, right? So that would be 162. Then I'd find 60% of 162, and then 90% of 162, and then keep my heart rate in between that range for about 20 minutes, 3 times a week, right? So don't be counting calories. Like if you're working out, don't count calories. Don't add that stress to your life. Do pressure yourself though. Like don't add the stress to your life though. Like by counting calories, because you're working out, right? Like you should be able to eat more and do a little bit extra because you're working out, right? So next time you go to the gym, just try to sweat it out, right? When you go to the gym, you want to leave sweating or require a shower, right? Maximize the workout, right? So it is great to have a buddy when you work out, but when your body stops going, then there's a high likelihood that you might stop going, right? So you do want to develop some self-sufficiency and routine, and try to forge the champion that you see in the mirror, right? And the person in the mirror, you want to forge them into a champion, right? So you don't want to stress out about calories, and you just eat less more often, right? Your stomach's like a balloon, right? So if you eat till you're full, the balloon's going to be one size right now. But if you eat past being full, if you're constantly stretching your balloon, then you're going to require more food to feel full, right? So that being said, you want to shrink the balloon. You want to eat. You don't even have to change the calories that you eat per day. You just need to change the portion size and just eat more frequently, right? Like most people get a break, right? So you could have an orange, or depending on your job, right? You'd ideally want to eat food that gives you that desired energy level for that time of the day, right? Like for me, oranges are the go-to a natural electrolyte that gives me a lot of energy, right? So if I was in construction or something like that, I might have an orange at 10 o'clock break, like would be ideal, right? It would give me enough energy to hustle and sweat and get paid to work out, basically, right? So that being said, you want to learn how to pressure yourself to the point, like the first time you want to pressure yourself to where you almost want to cry, right? And then once you beat yourself up, that point, that's your threshold. Now you need to pressure yourself right up until that point, right? Like when I was a kid, every single time I balanced myself, I pretended that I was on a cliff, and if I fell, I died, right? To maximize that psychological pressure, right? So should it push come to shove, I have all this experience, because every single time I tried it hundreds of times, right, I'm going to be able to balance myself to a certain point and then lose balance like anybody, right? With unless you have a stick or what have you, right? So learn how to pressure yourself, and if you have kids, learn how to pressure your kids. Ideally, like when they're like, say, like a toddler age, pressure them until you could visibly see tears like emanating in their eyes, like they're about to cry. Then once you realize like that's the maximum amount of pressure before you hit their sensitivity where they're going to be too emotional to be able to perform after that, right? So you want to be able to, like when they're like 3, like say under 3 ideally, right? Like you want to learn this, teach them as a young age, like so they know how to motivate themselves and pressure themselves, be like, yes, I could do this, I seen it done, if I practice, I can accomplish it. Most likely, if I have the skill set required, right? Like, and if you have the skill set required at an early age, like if you want to be, say, the elite level at something, you should dominate at the early ages, right? If you plan on dominating as an adult, right, you should be dominating as a child, all the way up, right? Like the best pro athletes, it's almost like they're men in boys' bodies, right? And they're playing, they should be playing like 3-4 years above them, right? Like in skill set. Like the very first time I tried out for baseball I was 15, and I made the rep team, but I didn't have money to pay for the rep team, so I played house league, and I got called up against 21-year-olds as a 15-year-old. Right, so I had positive feedback. If I would have known, like I was too young and naive at that point to realize the opportunity that I had, but if I would have realized that was the path to at least get a college scholarship and possibly become pro, then I would have called one up every time. But I didn't realize it was the last year. Right? So that's a personal regret I have, not seizing my opportunities. Right. So learn from my mistakes. Seize your opportunities in life. Don't count calories if you're working out. Unless you're a fitness model, you're in MMA or boxing, and you need to stay in a weight limit. Don't count calories. Don't count calories, right? Like if you look good and feel good, that's all that matters, right? Like you don't need to conform to society, like on body shape, right? Or your appearance, right? Like obviously have some class ideally, but you have to stop at red lights, right? Conform that way, but individuality is priceless, right? In a world that conforms to because remember we were all in class as kids, right? So we all waited for that one cool kid to put up our hand, then we all put up our hand, right? That's life, right? So don't conform. Be an individual. Be a rebel when it comes to like Matt Black trucks and Matt Black or Matt Gray trucks and Jeeps and stuff like that. They were super cool when they were Indian rebel, but now they're mass produced. Now they're not as cool, right? Like you got to up the game, right? If you're a rebel, right? Like if you're 60 years old and you're still rocking your long hair, I love you. Like I love you because you never conformed to society's changing with short hair and what have you. You stay true to yourself, right? So always stay true to yourself. Pressure yourself to forge the champion that you want to become. Whoever you want to become, right? You emulate and you learn from I spent many hours reading quotes from people that were extraordinary. How come they were so extraordinary? What was the mindset that they had to be able to aspire to be more than average or just ordinary, right? Some people do want to fly under the radar, right, in life, but most of us that are ambitious don't, right? Like I grew up in Toronto, right? So, me and my parents, we were pushing our car when we ran out of gas, and then there would go a Ferrari or something, right? So my dad would be like, "Oh, you got champagne taste with a beer salary." And it's like, well, no, I'm going to maximize my skill sets and achieve the opulent lifestyle that I wanted as a young child. Dad, thanks for the motivation.